You're listening to Bring Me the Axe. I'm Brian White. I'm one half of this morbid equation, and I'm joined by my co-host and brother, Dave. Hey, Dave, how you doing over there?
Thank you for asking me that. I'm all right. I am all right. Took a couple days off. Yeah, we went away to Los Angeles, California.
Had a nice little adventure over there?
Had an adventure. Went to see John Carpenter. Be very excited.
John Carpenter performing music live.
Ooh.
Boy, he's so notoriously grouchy. It's so good to see him just like feeling himself.
He was living in the moment.
Just so present, so happy.
Yeah.
Everybody in that crowd could suck a dick.
Yeah, they were the worst. If any of you were in the crowd at the Belasco Theater on Halloween night,
hey, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, put your fucking phones down. Huh? How about that?
And stop shoving me.
Yeah, stop wandering around like it's a fucking county fair.
Fucking Christ. God, I came so close to actually fucking punching somebody.
Well, I think you should have.
I probably should have, but then I would have missed John Carpenter.
That's true.
Being just so joyous.
He really was.
So effervescent.
Yeah. So I took a bunch of days off after that. Got to get my shit together. I'm kind of on my way to getting my shit together.
All right.
That's
yeah. Oh yeah. And I went to the Robert Englund Star ceremony.
You sure did. You just rushed on
Hollywood
down there.
Boulevard. Just got up on there and they, for some reason, they put me on they included me mugging in the background on the news.
Yeah, it's not exactly putting you on the news.
They didn't put me on the news. They just didn't see me as much of a problem.
Yeah, you appear on the news is really, I think, a better way of putting it.
Me just back there also feeling myself, having a good time, living in the moment.
It's like you were getting your own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yep. I said, hey, Eli Roth, how about you announce me?
And while you're at it, stop making movies.
Oh shit, I love LA, man. That place is so fucking cool.
It was all right.
We're gonna your ambivalence about Los Angeles is good.
It's just, it's I am a pedestrian. I'm a lifelong pedestrian from here on out, and that is not a city one can walk around in.
No, it certainly is not. And if we're there again, I'm gonna fucking get a car because Jesus Christ, man, we spent like fucking $500.
Yep.
Ubering for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I prefer smaller cities, denser cities that you can just sort of walk around in. There's not like big stretches between stuff.
Man, I just love the LA vibe. I could live there. I love it.
Just love hamming it up.
Yep. So yeah, we're getting our shit together. On our way. Returning back to real life.
Yeah.
Recording a podcast.
Oh boy, are we ever.
Yeah, this is a good one, though. This is a fun one. So we practically grew up in neighborhood video stores, and the steady diet of utter garbage that those shops provided us with continues unabated to this day. There's no one else I enjoy chopping it up with more about trashy movies than Dave. Just before we get into it, here's a little housekeeping. If you want to keep up with us between episodes, you can also find us on Instagram at Bring Me the Axe Pod. Dave's over there at that Queer Wolf. Go on over there. Check out our Los Angeles adventure.
Yep, there's donuts. A lot of donuts. We ate a lot of donuts.
By God, those Trejo donuts are fucking awesome. Weren't they?
They were delicious. I ate more donuts in a handful of days than I have probably eaten in quite a long time.
Having Danny Trejo's donut place like around the corner from my fucking Airbnb, bad move. But hey, it was good. It was delicious. Yep. Yeah, you can see that little news clip of me and some of the other stuff. And if you don't know, we got another show called 99 Cent Rental where we cover all manner of video store madness on the weeks of Bring Me the Axes Off. Our latest episode covering The Beastmaster is out now.
Master of Beasts.
Oh boy.
What a movie.
Don Coscarelli. You did your best.
You could say Don Coscarelli was also living in the moment.
Got upended by a wild bear. Yep. Yep, that's out now, and we'll be back next week with a look at the public panic picture made-for-TV movie Mazes and Monsters.
Oh God, it's so good.
A little Tom Hanks for your ass. Who else is in that? Anybody else of note?
Chris Makepeace.
Chris Makepeace in that?
I think that's the only other person of note.
Okay, cool. Yep. You can also contact us directly at bringmetheaxepod@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or suggestions. Do let us know if there's a movie that you love, would like to hear us give it the business. Our schedule is firming up for 2026.
But I am very easily persuaded to watch.
Yeah,
garbage.
it's definitely going to change. So get your requests in. Get your requests in so we can shuffle our schedule around some more.
I feel like we are accommodating many more requests in the coming year than we have in the past.
We've got a bunch on there, yeah, for sure. It's gonna be fun. We got a couple of nice real requests, movies that we've also had on the schedule like in the past, and we just kind of kicking them for whatever you got high and watched, and we're really enthusiastic about.
I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll watch Mortuary Academy, which I am convinced Eli Bosnick put on our schedule.
He must have, because I certainly didn't. And the only conclusion I can come to is one of the guests that I sent the schedule to was like, you know what? I think those guys should watch Mortuary Academy. The poster has the R word on it.
Yeah, that's
definitely Eli's vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you would like to support us on Patreon, you can look us up over there at patreon.com/bringmetheaxepod. There's a couple of tiers you can join there. Subscribers to the $5 a month tier can look forward to our bi-weekly X-Files rewatch pod. Do you think I'm spooky? Yeah, we're coming up. We got a new episode dropping this week. It's the first in a 2-part series. Dwayne Barry?
Are you calling Dwayne Barry a liar?
Oh my God, that is a fucking fantastic double play, a 1-2 punch of UFOs and conspiracy.
And sweaty Steve Railsback.
Sweaty Steve Railsback. Dwayne Barry? Yep. There's also our monthly Bring Me the Axe Millennium Edition, which is a bonus episode in which we explore a modern horror movie, a movie made in the last 20 years or so. Latest episode out right now is looking at the fucking bummer of a movie, The Orphanage.
Yep. You will watch it and then you will feel bad.
My God. What an ending.
Your spine might also be tingled.
Yep. And all Patreon subscribers, even the free tier, get access to our Discord server. Paying members get access to additional channels, voice and video chat, and the watch parties option. Once again, that's patreon.com/bringmetheaxepod. And lastly, and maybe even most importantly, if you like what you hear, you can subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube now. Search us by name and subscribe if you prefer to consume your podcast that way. And you'll be doing us a favor by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So do it. Take a second. Just take a moment. Click that rating button.
It's very
5
helpful.
stars. It's very helpful, and it makes us feel accomplished.
Yeah, listener, if you had a rating system, I would rate you 5 stars.
I would definitely rate you, the person listening to this podcast right now. You're a 5-star listener.
Yep.
Yep. And if you listen on YouTube, do us a favor, give the episode a like and leave a comment because we do love hearing from you guys. Just want to get that all out of the way right at the top of the show because, man, we are getting gothic. Melodramatic.
Wah, 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 wah.
It's a Dave favorite.
It is.
Yeah, so here's a little trailer action for you.
Come and see how the vampires do it. House of Dark Shadows, where death is a way of life. Julia, do you believe in the existence of vampires?
You're not really serious.
But he is, Julia. I command you to come to me! Barnabas Collins, vampire, takes a pride in a bizarre act of unnatural love. House of Dark Shadows. Rated GP.
Rated GP.
I would just like to point out that when I was doing the theme song for Dark Shadows, the Zoom asked if we were playing music. And I feel like
it's because your voice is so musical.
Yeah, this is sonorous and pleasing.
So, House of Dark Shadows.
Yes.
How closely to the original sort of Barnabas arc does this movie stick to? Because right up top, this is going to be an interesting listen, I'm sure, because I have seen 2 episodes of Dark Shadows, and you have seen 1,225 episodes.
All of them, yeah.
Several times.
Yeah.
So
it is pretty close. With a few very important differences.
And the ending, right? The ending, like
The ending is very different.
Okay, see, Barnabas doesn't get killed ever, right?
No. The when we get into it, I'll explain how the show actually ends because it doesn't really have an ending.
It just got canceled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, this was fun because I wasn't sure what to expect.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what to expect, and my initial feelings, first impressions of this movie is it is a shotgun blast directly to your face of potentially several hundred episodes of the show crammed into like
not even
90
potential.
minutes.
It's probably about half a season of the show.
Do soaps have seasons?
Technically, I think they do, but they're not the same. They're like 200, 300 episodes long.
Okay. Because, yeah, this movie hits the ground running and throws like 24 characters at you. And they're very careful to name them, but everybody in this movie, the whole vibe is like, here's like 50 people. Half of them all look the same. We'll see if you can figure out who's who. Good luck.
Yeah, some of them are. So for the, we'll just say this now. The way that they filmed this was being filmed at the same time they filmed the show. So they wrote the main characters out of the show in order to make this movie. And so the show focused on lesser characters for the duration. It's like 20 episodes or something like that. Not all at the same time, but
what I do love is the way that they wrote Barnabas out was he got locked in his coffin for like 20 episodes.
Yep. And it's during one of my favorite. This was filmed during one of my favorite eras of the show, so it's pretty great. But so they're swapping people in and out. There are some people who are playing the characters that they play on the show are not who they play in the movie. And
really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
For various reasons.
Okay.
Mostly because of the filming schedule.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, let's dive right in, shall we? Because boy, this is fucking wild. The year was 1970. Year of our Lord. Here were some other vampire movies released in 1970. Count Dracula.
Just Franco?
Just Franco's movie with Christopher Lee refusing to shave his mustache.
Very strange film.
Yeah. Yep. I have seen it in the sort of, I feel like I've seen dozens of Jess Franco movies in spite of the fact that I don't like Jess Franco movies.
It's only by default because he made 800 movies.
Fucking Christ. It's
and
like
that doesn't even include the porno that he made.
I'm constantly in search of like his appeal because like there are people who really like Jess Franco movies and I am desperate to understand you.
He is Jean Roland without the talent and without the art.
Yeah, I'd say that because like there's a period of his movies that I don't want to say I don't like him because there is a period of his movies that I do like. In the 60s, he made a bunch of movies where he was adequately budgeted and they're pretty good. The horror like the Dr. Orloff movie, the very like the initial one, pretty good. There's a couple of movies in that era that are also pretty good, but then he just kind of spirals out and makes like 16 movies a year on like $5 and a sandwich. And those movies are not good. No. But also in 1970, Count Yorga, Vampire.
Ooh, nice.
Not bad.
It's a decent movie.
It's a decent movie.
Sadly, they brought in, who's that? Robert Quarry?
That is, yes.
Quarry? Yeah, they brought him in, I think unofficially to replace Vincent Price.
Ah, God, what could have been?
And that is why Vincent Price and Robert Quarry never got along.
No shit. Again, here's more Christopher Lee. Scars of Dracula.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah. Taste the Blood of Dracula also came out that year.
A lesser good one, but it's still a good one.
Maybe my favorite of the Hammer movie titles, though. Taste the Blood of Dracula.
That's yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah. And then rounding out 1970, The Vampire Lovers.
That one's okay.
Yeah. As you'll recall, when we did Daughters of Darkness, like 1970 and 71 were like huge years for sexy vampire movies. Yeah,
they were. And it's weird because I don't really know what kicked it off. Probably the Ingrid Pitt obsession.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Hammer kind of hit. Like, when did Vampire Circus come out? Because that one's also super sexy.
I think that's a little later. 73, maybe?
Maybe. But yeah, like Hammer sort of found its vibe. Like Christopher Lee was getting a little tired of playing Dracula, and so they were trying to find ways to sort of do vampire movies without him, and just lucked onto some super horny vampire movies that did crazy box, and the world just kind of followed.
Yeah, we also get Count Kronos somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Which
Captain
Kronos, yeah.
Captain Kronos, is that Vampire Hunter?
Delicious Captain Kronos cereal.
Doesn't cut the roof of your mouth.
Mm-mm.
No. So our director is a guy named Dan Curtis.
Woohoo!
Last seen on this podcast all the way back in 2023 when we covered Burnt Offerings and heard a really strange and yet horribly plausible rumor about Oliver Reed's penis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Please go back and listen to that one. If for no other reason that Sam Pancake is charming as hell.
God, I so badly want to get Sam back on. Curtis was a master of the made-for-TV movie. Obviously, he was the mind behind the source material for this movie, 1,200 plus episodes of the outrageous soap opera Dark Shadows. Mm-hmm. But he also brought us The Night Strangler, the sequel to the Kolchak movie, The Night Stalker.
He just directed that one.
But I mean, he was like the sort of the primary creative force behind it.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. He also did Trilogy of Terror.
Mm-hmm. A movie that one part of that trilogy is good.
Yep. Again, the Karen Black connection,
mm-hmm.
and the Norliss tapes.
Oh, Norliss Tapes is rough. For anyone who does not know, Norliss Tapes was a pilot for a television show that never happened. It is extremely boring. He made a movie called Scream of the Wolf, which is a werewolf movie that is kind of awesome in the worst possible way. But weirdly, his biggest successes were like the Winds of War movies. He made like a bunch of like kind of period dramas in the 80s. Those were fucking hugely successful.
Yeah, I do remember those. I did not know that he was involved with that stuff, though.
Mm-hmm.
By 1970, Dark Shadows was a genuine sensation for ABC, and I suppose it's on every TV guy's mind to eventually go to features.
Yeah, he actually he pitched this for a couple years, and most people were like, I don't know. And I think only when it got to, this is peak Dark Shadows.
This is peak Dark Shadows, which is wild that it fell off hard enough the following year to get canceled.
I will explain why that happened as well.
Okay, cool. Our cast includes, is it Jonathan Frid?
Yes.
Okay. Perhaps a victim of his own success, Frid was an accomplished and highly trained stage actor with a master's from fucking Yale. Mm-hmm. He did some Shakespeare. He had some credits on Broadway before he landed a few episodes of One Life to Live. Mm-hmm. And then lightning struck in 1967 when Dark Shadows, on the edge of cancellation, cast Frid for 13 weeks that would change the course of the entire show. And in some ways, the entire direction of vampire fiction, television, and movies.
Inarguably.
Yeah.
Like we would not have Buffy the Vampire Slayer without this. We would not have so many vampire shows because of this one.
I would say that without this, there's no Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles. Mm-hmm. There, the notion of a sort of more tragic human character.
Yeah, even like the vampire, like the vampire version, the versions of Dracula that we get today are as heavily inspired by Dark Shadows as they are by Bram Stoker.
Yeah, that's wild because this arc, and maybe it wasn't as noticeable when it was like spread out across a couple hundred episodes of television. This arc is basically Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh yeah, no, this show goes through. So they, as much as they don't really have seasons, they do have story arcs, and the story arcs basically just recycle gothic horror. So you get Frankenstein, you get obviously Dracula, you get a Wolfman story, you get a weird H.P. Lovecraft story, which is ultimately kind of what tanks the show.
Oh, no shit. Does Dr. Julia Hoffman make a monstrous Promethean man?
She does not, but she is forced to help.
Awesome. She is a baffling character.
She is a fucking icon. She is one of the greatest television characters ever. I'm going to spend the next 2 hours just talking about how amazing she is. Grayson Hall is the weirdest actor.
And so the Barnabas Collins story single-handedly rescues this show from cancellation. Like it turns this shit around like overnight.
Because the show was really boring.
That's what I heard. That's what I've heard is the early, like the first like year or so of the show is just sort of like a fucking, like a family melodrama about the Collins family and their various sort of like romances and betrayals, a lot of backbiting. And then like they every now and then they would sort of like dip a toe into the supernatural, but then eventually Dan Curtis was like fucking throwing a Hail Mary and he was like, fuck it, vampire.
Do you want me to give the rundown of the series?
Let me get through the cast, and then we'll start talking about it, because I have sort of dark shadows from a very high level, but I get the feeling you are prepared to.
Oh, I am.
Go in.
Also, this is probably one of the gayest casts ever assembled on a television show.
No shit, because Jonathan Frid.
I'm going to say 60% of this cast is gay men.
Yeah, goddamn. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's New York. It's soaps, and they're all coming from the stage.
And they all knew each other.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he became so closely associated with this role that it more or less nailed him to Collins, and he kind of exited television, making a couple of small appearances in movies, and then returning to the stage until his death in 2012.
And the movies he's made are not good. Like The Devil's Daughter, not good. Seizures, real bad.
Yeah. Yeah. He has a very small 6 degree of separation for Friday the 13th. Did you know this?
No.
He was an understudy on the Broadway production of Roar Like a Dove, starring Betsy Palmer.
Huh. Well, how about that? It all comes back to Barnabas Collins.
Always. Everything flowers outward from Dark Shadows. So yeah, speaking of Grayson Hall.
Yes.
Academy Award and Golden Globe nominee, and then she landed the role of Dr. Julia Hoffman on Dark Shadows. I kid, because this movie was produced in New York, based on a soap opera produced in New York. Hall was like the rest of the cast. She acted prolifically on the New York stage while working in soaps. She appears in nearly 500 episodes of Dark Shadows, and then an unknown number of One Life to Live.
There is one other thing she has going for her that the other people didn't have going for them, in that she is married to the man who writes the show.
Okay.
Or she was, anyway. I don't know if by the end, I think that they might have divorced. But Sam Hall is the guy who wrote the original, he wrote this movie, and he wrote the original storyline. And so they were married at the time.
Okay. She's also in that fucking bonkers made-for-TV fiasco Gargoyles.
Yes, she is. And she is as incredible in that as she is in this. She plays like a drunk hotel owner who is just constantly hitting on Cornell Wilde.
Oh, God. And then rounding out our cast, got Catherine Lee Scott. This is her first feature film. She was cast as the original Maggie Evans for Dark Shadows, and plus they all play like a fucking dozen other characters.
She was also a Playboy bunny before this.
She wrote a book about it.
I've read it.
No shit.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Okay. And then she parlayed the experience into a significant presence on TV and film. She was in Gatsby with Robert Redford. She was in a bunch of the Dr. Mabuse movies. The Turn of the Screw, 24 episodes of the ill-advised Happy Days spinoff, Fonz and the Happy Days Gang.
Was that a cartoon?
You know what? It might have been.
Nice.
And she had a small role in Lifetime's attempt to turn V.C. Andrews' trashy incest gothic into a running series.
Those movies are really fucking wild. I've never actually seen them, but Naomi Ekperigin used to have a podcast where she and Megan Gailey would basically do this with Lifetime movies, and they watched a couple of them, and it just reminded me of how insane the V.C. Andrews novels are.
I did not know that this even existed, so when I saw that, I was like, it makes a certain amount of sense that somebody tried to turn the V.C. Andrews books into like a TV show in the same way that like they're doing like Interview with the Vampire and stuff like that, because it's high gothic, but also like really fucking crazy shit.
Like really inappropriately sexual.
Yeah. My God. Yeah. You can't, there's no way to make a V.C. Andrews movie sexy. No. You just can't do it.
No, you buy those books and you shamefully read them in your bedroom.
I think my wife has had all of them, I believe, up to a certain point, because I believe her family is still writing them.
Yeah, they're all written. I think they've mostly been written by the same person for like the last 15 years or so.
Shit. Yeah. So we got a couple of taglines here, and they're wild. Here we go. Barnabas Collins, vampire, takes a bride in a bizarre act of unnatural lust.
I mean, I don't know if it's unnatural.
You got to, I mean, everything has to be hyperbolic. You got to get them mouths watering.
It's true.
Like the next one.
It's titillating.
Come see how the vampires do it.
I hate that one. It's really stupid.
It's so
I know
fucking
what they're
dumb.
doing. They're trying to appeal to that swinging 60s set, but
Oh yeah. I got a little note here about why they filmed the movie in the way that they did. Yeah. And here's another one. There's two more. A story of blood relations. Okay. And then lastly, and my favorite, bloodlust, fangs bared. The vampire is searching for a mate.
that sounds like it's got to be an Italian one.
No, that was on the American poster. Like that was the main headline on the poster.
The Italian poster for this is great.
So Dark Shadows started in 1966 and was unique among its peers of soap operas in that it was a lot more gothic than your average melodrama. The original story concerned the Central College family, wealthy assholes and their various romances and betrayals. But by early 1967, it had a pretty significant problems. Audiences fucking hated it.
Yeah. So here's the deal with how the show starts is we get a young woman. Her name is Vicky Winters. And she is coming from, I don't know, Boston, I guess.
Because this takes place in Maine.
Yeah, the show takes place in Maine. And there's a lot of talk of going to Boston, which is like, if you are taking a carriage from Maine to Boston, it will take you like 3 fucking days to get there. Anyway, that aside, her name is Vicky Winters. She is David Collins's new nanny, governess, I guess.
Yeah.
And the story is really boring. It concerns her trying to figure out who her mother is. She eventually figures it out. It's Elizabeth Collins, who is the head of the Collins family, who she's now working for. They kind of just ditch that, though, because it gets really boring. There's a weird rape subplot involving Willie Loomis, who will be in this movie. There is a hit-and-run manslaughter story in which Burke Devlin, who is, I believe, Vicky's boyfriend at the time, goes to jail for a while, and then he gets out and wants revenge.
On the person he hit.
It's like a lot of this stuff. Elizabeth Collins' husband has disappeared mysteriously, and like this fucking dirtbag dude who was his friend shows up and like starts extorting money from her. Like, and some of these will get finished out in the Barnabas plot line, and some of them they will just abandon altogether. But the problem was, as you said, the show was not that good, and it was cheap, and it was tawdry, but not in a fun enough way.
No, I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Of the 13 soaps on TV at the time, it was the 13th, and not in a spooky 13 kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time it teetered on the edge of cancellation, producer Dan Curtis had already introduced the spooky elements, as we mentioned above. The addition of Jonathan Frid turned the entire show around, and by the following year, it was ABC's highest-rated daytime series, and it attracted a significant teenage audience due to it being on in the afternoon as schools were getting out. Right.
So what happens is they do introduce a story, a plot line about the matriarch of the Collins family, Josette. Or no, Naomi is the matriarch. Sorry. Josette is her daughter. And Josette is a ghost who now haunts the old house, which is like this kind of disheveled hovel that is on the property of the Collins, of Collinwood is the name of their house.
Is she the Josette of Barnabas's sort of obsession?
Yes.
Okay.
She was his girlfriend and fiance at the time, and then she kills herself when she finds out he's a vampire. We won't really get into that in the movie, but
no.
And what happens is like it's really boring, and so the producers from ABC are like, "Hey, you got to do something about this show. Like you've got, I think something like 6 weeks. You got to shape it up and either fucking get your numbers sky high, or we're gonna wrap it up." And Dan Curtis had always wanted to do a vampire movie or like a vampire story, like a show or whatever. And he was like, "Well, fuck it. If I've only got 13 weeks left, I may as well go all in and just do it here." And he did. And that was it, because it did get bumped from its original slot. It got moved to 3:30, which is a really weird time to have a soap opera on, because that's when kids get home from school.
Yeah.
Typically. And so it just became, it attracted a huge young audience, because it is extremely campy, like campy in a way that soap operas are inherently campy anyway.
Yeah.
This is even more so. There's a lot of fuck ups that are just kind of hilarious. They forget lines all the time. And hey, I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all, because you're shooting these every single day. But like, you'll see like the boom mic just drops into the scene at one point. They forget where they're going. You'll see the whole wall shake when someone closes a door. But it's all part of the charm of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I think that in the future, like, because this movie was such a sensation and it lives in the minds it lays very heavily in the minds of the people who saw it originally, that they've since tried to reboot it several times and it fucking fails because they lean into the wrong elements,
right.
But also it sort of bears the curse that you couldn't really make a show that has that sort of shoddy charm.
You can't force camp. You just can't do it. No matter how hard you try, you cannot do it, which is why every single time, so they've tried to reboot this in the 90s and it didn't work. Yep. I think in the early 2000s.
Well, I'll say this. I got a little note about that, because that TV show was kind of sabotaged by some current events.
It's also just bad. Like, it's just not a good show.
Okay.
And they tried to make it darker. Like, we tried to watch it probably a couple of years ago and it was not good at all. Yeah. Like, they tried to make it darker. They essentially tried to do with that show what Dan Curtis is trying to do with this movie, which is be a little more serious, because part of the problem is if you're making soap operas, it's going to be what it's going to be. Like, you don't have a lot of time. You don't get reshoots. You don't, like, if you fuck up, you just keep going. You may as well be filming a play.
Yeah.
And so I think he saw this as his opportunity to be like, I can go a little darker. I can go a little more mature. You know, I can sort of lean in and make the thing that I really want to make that is more like I'm not going to say Universal, but maybe Hammer.
Yeah. So as its profile rose in 1968, Curtis began pitching a Dark Shadows movie, and as the series hit peak popularity in 1970, MGM greenlit the project, and that's about the size of the production history. There's not a whole lot to really know about this. They made the movie, and they released it, and I think it did all right.
Yeah, not critically, but I think financially it did okay.
Yeah. Curtis's original plan for the movie was to take the TV show and cut it up into like a sort of digest version of the movie that you see before you. And it's basically the most popular arc of the series with Barnabas and Carolyn and Maggie and all that. But
I beg to differ.
Really?
That's
why I say ostensibly.
Not enough Grayson Hall, if you ask me.
But they abandoned this idea for one very important reason. The TV show looked like fucking shit.
Yeah, they very quickly realized that it was just not going to work.
It's not just the problem that the movie that people were like flubbing lines and set decorations were like always falling over and stuff, but it was shot on like early studio video,
and they didn't save a lot of this stuff either.
Yeah, and so it looks like a TV. It's overlit. It has like a weird. I don't know what that look is. There's a period of Twilight Zone.
I think when you say it's when they
the same kind of cameras.
It's when they switch to video.
Yeah, and
so that's basically what happens. Is like it looks cheap because it was cheap. Like videotape was cheap then.
Yeah,
because celluloid was really expensive, and so they switched to that. And it's like, you know, you remember when everybody had smoothing on their TVs?
Oh fuck yeah!
It's a little bit like that, where everything just looks too like you're in the room with them. It's not slick. Doesn't look nice. It looks like I shot it.
Right, and the video captures reflections very strangely as well, particularly because this show started in black and white, right, and then it transferred to color.
And then sometimes it would just go back to black and white.
And the old sort of and the black and white presentations of those old videotape presentations, the sort of sharp reflections of lights on reflective surfaces would look kind of black with a white outline. It's such a strange look.
Yeah, and some of it, like if you watch the series from beginning to end, if you're a lunatic like somebody is, there are some episodes where they've lost the original masters altogether because they never saved this stuff. They would just trash it because it took up space and they didn't need it.
Yeah, I would imagine that this stuff takes up tremendous space.
So some of the stuff they lost, what they did have, I can't remember what the name of this is called, but essentially what it is it is a camera pointed at the monitor. And
shit.
It's a way for it's basically for like a reference thing.
Yeah.
And so there are some episodes where the quality is so shitty because it is literally a camera that is kind of pushed all the way up. It's made to do this. It's not like they just literally pointed it at the monitor, but it is essentially what it's doing. It is filming what's on the monitor.
No shit. It must have been like for the sort of thing that they use for like audio timing and stuff like
think
that.
so.
Like ADR and shit.
It's for like later reference. It's not for like display.
Okay. But yeah, this would have looked horrible in a 35 millimeter presentation.
And it's just sloppy. I mean, there's so much shit going on in every single one of these episodes that like it would be, minute by minute quick cuts all the time.
Yeah. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah. Because as it is, this movie, like I said, it hits you so fucking hard. Like I one of my main criticisms is with this movie is its pacing is really fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But usually when I criticize a movie for its pacing, it's usually because the movie's very slow. This movie goes way too fucking fast.
They don't know how to make movies yet. I don't think he'd made a movie. I think this is his first film direction.
But also they're trying to cram a lot into 90 minutes, like a lot. And there are times when they'll come back and like there's a period where the Jeff character kind of vanishes for like an hour, and then when he comes back, you're expected to remember who he is. But I'm like, I've seen a million guys with these fucking shaggy haircuts and like beige turtlenecks. Like, who the fuck is this guy now?
He is one of the ones who is playing a character other than the character he plays on the show.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So the lack of TV censors also gave Curtis a little more room to move. And by 1970, Hammer was batting out one gory vampire movie after another with lush gothic settings and moody photography. So there was now a standard and expectations to be met. And I would say, given the degree of violence in this movie, that Curtis met and exceeded those expectations.
Yeah, it's surprisingly violent.
I fucking love the way that they do. Because like vampire movies, even today, like a vampire bite is like two little pricks in the neck. But this is like a fucking dog bit their neck.
And it's like
awesome.
Gross squelching noises.
Yeah, it's rad as hell. I fucking love that.
Yeah, one of the characters that is missing from this is Vicky Winters. She was kind of the core of the series, and she would always do this narrated opening. So like the get the house, you get the kind of the house would come up, and then it would say Dark Shadows, and she would give this narration, and it would always start with, "My name is Victoria Winters. A great violence has come to the house at Collinwood, and tomorrow who will know whom amongst us will still be alive?" And then would kick in the music, and it's fucking great. Problem is, she married like some Swedish count in the late
Peace
60s.
out. I'm gonna go be royalty.
Yes, that is exactly what happened. She was like, "I'm not going to be an actor anymore. I'm going to be a Swedish countess."
That's fucking fantastic.
And so she disappears from the show. She is essentially replaced by Maggie in that role. It's the character of Maggie.
Do they just swap her out and go and expect you to kind of go with it, or did they like sort of introduce this new character to have her just kind of like?
No, because Maggie had been on the show already.
Oh shit!
She just wasn't in this role, so they kind of just drop her into the role, and that's that. Like, there's no explanations for anything. There's no fucking time. It's like you were either in or you're not. But no, there's no time for questions.
God, I fucking love soaps. And I also love that the soap opera is so fucking integral to the history of horror.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because I cannot tell you how many episodes we've done where we run through the cast list and it's like, yep, she was on like 55 episodes of Days of Our Lives. This guy was on 100 episodes of The Young and the Restless.
And that's like a guest spot.
Yep. Yeah. Like Mark's when we did Beastmaster, like Mark Singer did like 55 episodes of one of them. I can't remember.
Santa Barbara.
Maybe. And I was like, fucking 55 episodes. And then I'm like, oh shit. Well, they do like 900 episodes a year. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Abe Vigoda was on a bunch of episodes of this.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fish himself. Kate Jackson from Charlie's Angels. She is in the final season. Would you like me to tell you how the series ends?
Yeah. Because I'm kind of past all that.
So what happens is the movie comes out and it's the peak of popularity. There are fucking toys, there's board games, there's everything. Magazines, books, everything you can imagine.
It is fucking wild because the legacy of this show continues. Like Like,
oh yeah, they have conventions.
I mentioned to Mom that we were doing this one, and she was like so fucking excited. And then like I had this book. It was like a big fucking thick ass book that was like a vampire encyclopedia. And honestly, like half of this book was about Dark Shadows.
Yeah, they have an annual convention every year. Most of them are dead at this point, but a few of them are still alive. David Selby is still alive and pretty active. So he plays Quentin Collins.
Penny Dreadful, she does an entire like a podcast about Dark Shadows, and it's won the fucking Rondo like a bunch of times.
I mean, it's no shortage of shit to talk about. That's for sure. So it is at its peak. The problem is they put the movie out, and adults take their kids to see the movie, and they're like, "Hey, wait a minute! Is this what you've been watching every afternoon when you get home from school?"
Oh no!
And so after that, they're like, "You are not watching this show anymore."
And so the viewership just fell off.
A lot of the viewership drops off, and then also what happens is this particular plot line actually starts quite a bit earlier than the movie. The plot starts in like 68.
1968 or 67 is when they brought in Jonathan Frid to do this.
So we are well past that by this point. Like that, we have gone way beyond that story. They've been through a million others. So they jump around in time a lot.
I heard about that. There's that, and there's also like parallel universes where things are a little different.
Yep. So by that point, we're in the last season of the show, or maybe they're about to start the last season of the show. They must be, because it's the Leviathans is what they're called. And this is the weird, like, they are old gods, kind of, played by Kate Jackson, and I can't remember the other guy's name. He's in the second movie.
Oh shit, this sounds awesome.
And it's confusing, and it deviates so far from the core of the show that you're like, what is this? And it also changes the origin of Barnabas. He's no longer like a sort of sad, tragic vampire trying to be a man. He is this thing that is being controlled and created by these gods.
Oh, all right.
And it kind of falls apart. It just gets really boring. And they're like, everybody's tired.
As I said, the creation of Barnabas is not covered in this movie.
Oh, no.
There's like a witch. It's in the Tim Burton movie.
It is in the show. Oh, yeah. I've never seen that whole movie, but what I did see sucks. The Barnabas, the way he is created, he was in love with Josette Collins. However, he also had a very passionate relationship with Angelique from Martinique. Let that sink in. And she is a witch. And when he rebuffs her, she turns him into a vampire. She curses him or whatever, and he becomes a vampire. When Josette finds out, she kills herself by hurling herself off of Widow's Hill, I think is what it's called.
I love that.
And then I think his mother finds out that he is a vampire, and she is the one, it's either his mother or his father, locks him in the coffin that he is eventually found in by Willie Loomis.
Okay.
Willie Loomis. Yeah. So that's how we get there.
That's fantastic.
And he goes through a whole range. So eventually I believe they do find out he is a vampire eventually.
Yeah.
Because he does kidnap Maggie and he locks her in the basement. But eventually he becomes like the hero of the show.
Okay.
So once we get past this storyline, he becomes a good guy.
All right. So it's the Buffy angel.
Yeah, he's a hooker with a heart of gold.
Yeah, okay.
And it's much better after that. Like evil Barnabas isn't that fun.
Okay. But he's pretty compelling. He's got a great look. The hair is very particular.
Yeah, there's a lot of great photographs of him and Grayson Hall. Oh, that's how the story actually is supposed to. The story is supposed to end. It just gets canceled, which sucks. So originally, how it was supposed to end was Julia Hoffman and Barnabas fall in love, and they take off together to parts unknown. She cures him of his vampirism, and I wanted that so badly for her.
Because there's a little bit of that in this movie, and I gotta tell you, I was pulling for her because the Maggie thing, that wasn't gonna work.
She's an obnoxious character. She fucking sucks the whole time. You're never really on board with her. And Jeff originally is her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he is played by a different guy. I don't know why he might have been playing somebody else at the time.
All right.
And we do get some of those people do actually pop up in the movie. They're just in it very, very briefly.
All right. So they shot it up in the Hudson River Valley, which has some really spooky colonial New England vibes. And they employed Arthur Orneitz, who shot fucking Serpico, Death Wish, and The Boys in the Band as DP.
Yep.
I mean, among a shitload of other like pretty impressive movies.
And I think he does a pretty good job.
It's a good looking movie. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they do some day for night stuff in this that drives me nuts because no matter what you do, that shit looks like you're shooting in the day.
Yeah. The actual house is in Rhode Island. What's the fancy spot? Newport.
Yeah.
The actual house.
Oh, the one that they shot for the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Yep. Locations were in Sleepy Hollow, which I've always wanted to visit, and a little south of there in Tarrytown, New York.
I believe they're right next to each other, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's like one town south of Sleepy Hollow. Yep, it is the first in a tradition of spooky horror themed soap operas. The late 90s soap Passions borrowed heavily from Dark Shadows with a rotating cast of people in a spooky New England town. The most
including a living doll.
I was going to say most memorable quality of the soap that I remember is a character that was a witch who had a doll that came to life, and it was just this horrifically made up child actor.
Yeah.
Yep. Days of Our Lives toyed with spooky themes and mad science. Buffy there would be no Buffy without this.
And Buffy lifts an entire plot line from this show.
Is it the werewolf one?
No, it's Adam.
I
mean, I guess you could argue that the werewolf one is kind of pulled from this too, because the werewolf story is Quentin Collins. And that is one of my favorite plots because it involves Grayson Hall playing a, I'm going to say gypsy. I know it's not the right word, but that is literally what she's playing. Like the character from the werewolf movie, like the Wolfman.
Yeah. The lady in the gypsy camp with
like she's not those are not Romany people. Those are gypsies. They're a fictional character. And that is what she is playing. And it involves a lot of them. And I am telling you, these people are in brownface in a way that you will find very uncomfortable, but equally hilarious.
Oh, that's fucked up. Who was that? What was Adam on Buffy? What was that?
He's literally called Adam. He's the Riley.
Oh shit! Okay, now I remember the weird like paramilitary force.
Yep. And on Dark Shadows, the Adam character, he's the Frankenstein character. He sexually assaults Caroline.
Oh.
And she just gets over it. She loves him anyway.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's tough. It's also the worst plot. If I were to watch it again, I would skip it entirely.
Oh God.
Because he is obnoxious.
Yep. They have attempted to reboot Dark Shadows several times. 12 episodes aired on NBC in 1991 in an attempt to bring it back, and it had a huge debut, but a couple of problems arose. The show's original appeal hinged largely on camp and melodrama. People loved the horror, but the outrageous qualities were kind of the true appeal. The 1991 series, which began with the Barnabas story, leaned into the horror and the vampire things with a sort of slick 1991 production. I believe Ben Cross played Barnabas. And
he does it in a sort of typical Ben Cross way where it's just very brooding and dark and mysterious.
Yeah, but the problem was it delivered none of the ridiculous bullshit that people loved. And it also dropped as the first Gulf War was happening and broadcasts were preempted by war footage.
Also, I will add, one of the things that is important to remember about soap operas is that you weren't really supposed to pay attention to them. They're a little bit like reality TV where you're like, women would put it on during the day while they did, chores or cleaned or whatever. They're called soap operas because they were literally made to sell soap.
I love that.
And so, when we talk about rebooting these things, it's like part of the appeal of things like Days of Our Lives and Dark Shadows is that you could put them on and do other stuff. It's like having a movie on in the background just because you want noise or whatever, something familiar. And believe me, you would get very familiar with this show very quickly. So you could just put it on and walk away or walk around. Whereas the reboot is like, it's gritty and sexy and X-Files-y, and you're like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
They would have been better off just calling it something else.
Right, like because there were other shows on that at the time. Like I believe was it Forever Night was in syndication, and that was very much I think what they were trying to do with that.
Yep.
Yeah, my God, oh fuck, what was it? I was thinking. Oh, Vampire the Masquerade owes a tremendous debt to this show because it is essentially Dark Shadows. It is. The story is the sort of established narrative is fucking ridiculous.
And what's amazing is that Dan Curtis was just ripping off gothic horror. Like none of these were original stories.
No. And then they tried again in 2004 at the CW with a pilot order that went literally nowhere. You can watch it on YouTube.
It's fucking terrible.
God. It had Jessica Chastain as Carolyn Stoddard.
Yeah.
And then, as we said before, remade in 2012 by Tim Burton with a celebrity alcoholic Johnny Depp as Barnabas Collins. Had Eva Green, Christopher Lee, and Alice Cooper. I guess it's a comedy, but it looks like dry white dog shit to me.
Yeah, you could put all your Eva Greens and your Christopher Lees you want and your Alice Coopers this into a movie. Still not going to make it good. And I understand it is probably not. I've seen pieces of it. It looks fucking terrible.
I watched the trailer to sort of like get a feel for it, and it looks incredibly fucking stupid.
This is
like
that
all
era.
all the jokes are like Austin Powers jokes. Like
yeah, they're really like a wink and a nudge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really terrible. But some of the other, like, there are lesser plots too, where they like rip off like Poe stories. Like Casco Amontillado is one of them.
Oh shit, that's awesome! Like somebody gets walled up in the basement of Collinwood,
and it's great because he sucks real hard. So he's a preacher too. You love it. It's fantastic,
awesome.
And it's by Elizabeth Collins. I would guess that who's Elizabeth? Who's she played by? From Margaret from what's that movie we watched? TV movie
from
Sensitive You're Not.
This House Possessed.
Yeah. What is her name? Who plays Elizabeth Collins? She's
Shit.
in Suspiria.
Joan Bennett. She's played by Joan Bennett.
Yes, Joan Bennett. The fun thing about Joan Bennett is, so this was sort of like when her career was on the decline because she was in movies in like the 30s. And I believe I told this story when we did This House Possessed, that her husband tried to kill her and her friend, who she swears she was not having an affair with.
That's
but they just
right, yeah.
happened to be sitting in a car after leaving a motel together. And he like shot into the car like 10 times or something and managed, I believe, to miss them every time.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I think she stayed married to him. Hollywood's a crazy place, man.
It fucking is. So this is my last little note, and it's maybe my favorite thing. In 1970, as part of the promotion for this movie, the Palisades Amusement Park in New Jersey had a Miss American Vampire pageant in which contestants competed for the prize of being the most vampiric. The winner, looking every bit like a gothy Instagram model about to go see Twin Temple, was Sacheen Littlefeather.
Really?
Yes, the model and actress who represented Marlon Brando at the 1973 Oscars.
Yeah, if nobody knows who that is, she was there to speak on behalf of Native rights, and she got booed off the stage, and John Wayne said some really heinous shit to her face, to which I believe Paul Newman was like, hey man, fuck you.
Yeah. Yep. Paul Newman is a good guy.
Moral of that story, Paul Newman, great guy. John Wayne, real sack of crap.
Burning in hell right now. Screaming, has been screaming every moment for
Sincerely
years.
Hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, she was presented her crown by Jonathan Fred. There are great photos of this event. I'm going to post them on the Instagram.
Yeah, there were a lot of like win a date with Barnabas, and it's like, come on, girl. You gotta know.
But I gotta know. I gotta wonder how many dudes like entered that contest.
So he was very much Lewis, the guy who plays, what the fuck is his name? The David Collins' father.
You're asking me this like I know.
For some reason, I can't remember his name. He was very kind of openly gay, or as much as someone could reasonably be in 1968 or whatever.
Yeah.
Jonathan Frid was very much not. But they did hang out together at Fire Island a lot. Then there's like 5 or 6 other dudes who pop up periodically, and a couple of them are in the movie. And they were also gay. I'm pretty sure they all knew each other. But one of them, the guy who I believe he might actually be in the movie. He plays Chris Cunningham, I think is his name on the show. He's one of the werewolves.
Chuck Cunningham.
Chuck Connors. And he like was kind of like very, very deeply closeted, did a bunch of drugs and lost his fucking mind. And it sounds like what happened was he maybe had like a psychotic break, but had sex with a bunch of dudes one night, just in like, in a bathhouse or whatever, but then claimed that he was like gang raped by them.
Damn.
And he had like a nervous breakdown to the point where he could no longer work. And then like he got a job at a gas station, and then eventually that was too much. And he died when he was like 60. It's a really fucking tragic story.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My God. What the fuck do I segue to press reactions from there?
Look, that's a real downer of a story. You're not going to like what the press has to say about this movie either.
See? That's a fun. You rescued it. That was a perfect segue.
Hey, how did the critics feel about this? Well, it's the equivalent of being gang raped. Not everybody disliked it. Someone liked it, and they're pretty great. But I'm going to hit you first with the old paper record, the Boston Globe.
The old green lady.
The old greenish lady. This is by a critic whose name is Edgar Driscoll. That's
right.
Driscool. Edgar Driscoll.
Driscoll.
This horror tale's flair for eerie effects is not matched by a rambling and sometimes incoherent script. Indeed, it's often hard to tell who's on first, as one character after another wanders in and out of the mist.
See, this is what I'm saying.
But horror fans will probably enjoy this one. After all, Halloween is coming up. The movie came out in October.
Yep.
Roger Greenspan of the New York Times.
The old gray lady.
There she is. The vampire movie is such an agreeable type, it would seem to have taken an act of unusual perversity to have made anything as dreadful as House of Dark Shadows.
My God.
The movie really has no subject except its special effects, which aren't very good, done by Dick Smith, no less.
No shit.
And its various shock sequences. Lest all this sound like good, clean fun, prospective audiences should understand that it is neither fun nor especially clean. Now, Kevin Thomas, Los Angeles Times, my girl.
There we go. My guy, the old gray lady.
House of Dark Shadows is no triumph of cinematic style, but it does benefit from its seasoned TV repertory cast and from its creepy settings, 3 highly atmospheric old mansions in Connecticut and New York. The choicest role goes to Grayson Hall as a doctor who becomes enamored of Barnabas. Hers is indeed a delicious performance. And you know what, Kevin Thomas? I agree, and I'm glad you recognize that.
I love Kevin Thomas reviews, man.
Whew, I'm glad someone finally sees it. Now, this is maybe an overly literate critic named Bernard Drew from the Democrat and Chronicle.
The old gray lady.
The old gray Chronicle. It is New York, I think. What hijinks and low camp go on each afternoon on the cathode ray, I cannot say. But in the film, if one may so dignify this mess with...
God, lighten up.
Hold on.
Lighten up.
Oh, it gets better. If one may so dignify this mess with so lofty an appellation, nobody has a chance under Curtis's direction. It isn't even bad funny. It's bad sad. You cannot tell the sets from the people, which is just as well for everyone. Damn.
Fucking savage.
And my favorite critic, the IMDb user.
This ought to be fun.
Very soap opera-y in nature. I wonder why that is.
I wonder why that would. Yeah, that's weird.
There is love of all kinds, including unrequited, revenge, jealousy, and hate. You know, that hate love. There are some great gothic images, including Barnabas outside with the looming castle before him in shadow. I actually really like the vampire genre in general, but I am afraid this does not receive my stamp of recommendation. I imagine fans of the soap opera may enjoy it, however.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you soap perverts. You're probably going to love this.
Here you go, Philistines. Enjoy your soap opera movie, dummy.
What the fuck? Oh, God. See, you got any more?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, I suppose that we should take a bite.
Oh, I'm excited.
All right, here we go. We open on the gnarly theme song from Dark Shadows.
Wah, 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 wah.
I bet you we're going to get hit by a fucking copyright strike for that.
That's me.
See,
theirs was like ding, 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 whereas mine is like ding, 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 ding. Enjoy that Vanilla Ice reference, everybody.
It's not the same. So, it's accompanied by an ominous shot of Collinwood, the ancestral home of the soap opera-friendly Collins family. Apart from the theme song, to The Day the Earth Stood Still, no theme song is so closely associated with the theremin than this one. One of the coolest goddamn electronic instruments ever made.
It is a very neat one.
Yeah. The theme was composed by Robert Cobert.
Mm-hmm.
The entire TV show soundtrack was released to LP in 1969 and hit number 18 on the Billboard Top 40.
That's right. How many copies do I own? 3.
I think I bought you one when I went to Amoeba.
The original, the original print is the one you got me.
That's awesome. One of the tracks, Quentin's theme, was nominated for a Grammy, but it lost to Midnight Cowboy.
Goddamn. It also appears in this movie.
Yes,
despite the fact that Quentin does not.
Inside the Gothic Manor, we meet Maggie Evans searching the house for David Collins, but not finding him.
David Collins is a real bitch.
She heads out to the old family mausoleum and runs into the sleazy and quite drunk handyman Willie Loomis, who is on a mission to locate some hidden family treasure out there. And it's John Carlin, who we last saw in our episode about Daughters of Darkness.
Yeah, I'm going to say, John Carlin, I don't want to minimize anybody's acting abilities on this movie because for the most part, they're actually really good actors. John Carlin, I think, especially. We learned quite from Daughters of Darkness that I think he is a very skilled actor, and he is one of the more compelling characters, despite starting out his character as a violent rapist.
Yeah, he's a real nasty cat.
So in the show, he shows up at Collinwood with a guy named Jason McGuire, who is played by Dennis Patrick. If you saw him, you'd know who he was. He is in the movie. He plays the sheriff in the movie.
Okay.
But he plays, on the show, he plays a character called Jason McGuire, who is the one who is there to extort Elizabeth over the death of her husband. It's unrelated to the movie, but that's how he gets there.
How many versions of Willie Loomis does John Carlin play? Because I also saw some reference to a William Loomis that he plays. He's the one who ultimately, like, when they were making this movie, his character is the one that gets Barnabas locked in his coffin.
He's the one who unlocks Barnabas's coffin.
Oh, okay.
He pretty much just plays Willie Loomis. He also plays one of Quentin's brother later on when they go back in time.
Okay.
But when they're in the present, he just plays Willie.
All right. So,
but he's like he's one of the main characters.
Yeah. He's a real gross dude with some riddle that'll reveal a hidden treasure.
Yeah. I mean, a real head scratcher of a riddle.
In walks Roger Collins, the family patriarch, to break
That's Roger. That's his name.
Yeah. To break up all the scheming.
Now, he's the one who was very openly gay.
Oh, okay.
Lewis something. I can't remember his last name.
Willie leaves and continues his search for the treasure around the family cemetery and descends into a crypt where he finds more clues for his search. It's like some Resident Evil puzzle.
Yeah, it is. But here's my thing. First of all, he telegraphs this to everybody. He's just like, hey, everybody, Willie's going to go down and find the family treasure. And then he goes and does it. But he shouts out the clue. Now, that's fine. You can do that, I guess. My question is, if the objective is to keep Barnabas in his coffin forever because he is a demon spawn, why is there a failsafe to make sure someone will find him?
Look, you gotta have that. You gotta have that little, the spark that lights the fuse. You know?
That's right. It's the Deus Ex Barnabas.
So he finds a secret passage which reveals a hidden coffin bound in chains.
Yes.
Maggie continues her search for David. Meanwhile, taking her to a dilapidated wing of the old mansion.
Not a wing. This is a separate house.
Okay.
This is called I
keep calling it like a wing.
Yeah, it's the old house. It is on the property, but it's where the original house was, where the Collins family, where Barnabas grew up. Or grew up exactly, but where Barnabas lived when they moved there, where they all lived. And David loves hanging out there because he likes talking to Josette. He's the only one who has seen her ghost.
Okay.
Because her painting hangs in the house.
Oh, no shit.
I'm here for the lore. Deep lore.
So we get the obligatory jump scare cat here. Why David is hiding is anybody's guess, but she finds him when he suddenly leaps out of one of the doors and runs out of the room, locking Maggie in the room behind him.
Yeah, he's a real psychopath in this in a way that he is not on the show. He's just sort of an annoying, lonely little kid on the show. But in this, he's like faking his own suicide and shit.
Yeah, there's a scene that they shot but cut where he pretends to hang himself. To the horror of his family. He is a maniac in this
and
movie.
They will do that in that movie, The Lodge. You ever see that?
No.
With the kid from It, and Alicia Silverstone is in it very briefly.
Don't think I have, no.
Came out like 2018, but it has a very similar thing. But he is like a weird sociopath in this movie.
Yeah. Oh boy. What the shit that would pass for like you little scamp. He's just a little troublemaker.
This is boys being boys, faking his own suicide to make you shit your pants.
Yeah. So Willie manages to break chains free and lifts the coffin lid, and he's immediately grabbed by the throat by whoever is inside it.
And that is a shot for shot of what happens on the show.
Yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah. So elsewhere, Elizabeth Stoddard sees Daphne, the secretary, off for the night.
And Elizabeth, this dress she is in.
They wear such luxurious finery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a spooky walk to the car, complete with howling wolves who may or may not be werewolves. She stalked on their wolf, their castle.
Werewolf, their wolf, werewolf.
She is stalked on the way by an unseen stranger who walks with a cane. And then
Daphne, for some reason, Daphne, I don't believe is in the original show. I don't remember her, but she is in the remake.
Oh, no shit.
The 90s one, yeah.
She just gets she's just like a setup for a Barnabas kill.
Yeah, because originally it's Maggie so what happens is Barnabas shows up at the diner where Maggie works, and she has this weird, gross pixie cut at the time. Very unflattering. And then he stalks her after she leaves work, and he bites her, and that's how this plotline says. But because Maggie is playing the role of Vicky in the movie, they have to do it a different way. And so they kind of invent this Daphne character. Oh,
right, because in this, Maggie is the governess.
Yes. And so they invent this Daphne character. I'm going to assume they probably did the same thing in the reboot, probably for the same reason.
Yeah. She's grabbed by her. She's grabbed as she gets to her car. And then she is soon after spotted by Jeff Clark. My God, there are a lot of fucking people in this movie.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you who they all are.
Jeff is Maggie's boyfriend. I could have used you the other night when I was watching this, because every time somebody new would come up, I'd be like, have I seen this guy before?
Well, the problem is that they all look the same.
They all look the same. They've got the same kind of, they all wear the same kind of clothes. They all have the same kind of hair.
You got to put some glasses on, put a fun hat on one. Give one of them a Jerry curl.
Yeah. So he finds her body near her car and pulls aside her collar to reveal a crazy bite on her neck. Like I said, definitely not the vampire bites of old. This is it is like a fucking gouge in her neck, and it is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
David Collins, meanwhile, that scamp, that rapscallion,
stealing wallets, sneaking into ladies' houses and watching them undress, boys stuff.
Yeah. Sneaks back into the manor, but manages to elude everyone while Maggie is freed from the locked room in the shitty part of the manor by the spooky stranger in a ruffled lace sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And then he runs away as one of the millions of people in Collinwood come to her rescue. Then also David has been found.
Yeah. Who cares? He sucks.
So elsewhere in the house, Dr. Julia Hoffman looks her over with the sheriff.
My girl, here she is. The thing that I want everyone to take away from of this is Grayson Hall's approach to acting. Initially I thought that she does this because this is maybe she was stuttering over lines or something, like she was forgetting her line or something, but she does this in other stuff that she's in. She will present lines like this. I'll see you tomorrow. I would love it if you would come up to see me at the house tomorrow. But Barnabas. And she will do this throughout the whole show.
She's like Shatner.
Yes, and it is unbelievable. She is incredible. She has this approach to acting that is so bizarre, that is so charming, that you're just like, I want her to be in every movie ever made.
I can see the appeal, because she was definitely one of my favorite characters.
Very often, for a very long time, because we watched this a lot several years ago, And we would just every now and then just be like, but Barnabas. Because she will do this all the time, especially when she plays her character Magda, which is my favorite character, where she does this kind of, I'm going to say Romanian accent, where she's like, no, Quento, no. It's so good.
She determines that no human could have made that bite, which is a crazy conclusion to come to.
Okay.
Well, why are they assuming that a human bit this person on the neck?
Well, because
in a monstrous fashion.
At first, they will be like, no, there's no vampires. And then someone else will be like, I don't know. Do you think there might be, though? And they're like, actually, yes. There is no resistance to the idea of vampires.
I do love the Stokes character as well, because he's obviously Abraham Van Helsing. And
he's also another homosexual man.
Okay. It's a fucking packed house.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's going to be more. Don't worry.
But he does the same thing. And in Dracula, like it takes Dr. Seward and like John Harker like some convincing. Like they need to actually like see Dracula in action to like be like, oh shit, he wasn't lying. In this one, he's just like, hey, listen, doctor. Do you believe in vampires? And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And then he's like, okay, but what about vampires? And she's like, oh, when you say it that way, then yes.
Yeah. Because like, at first she's like, you're fucking crazy. What? You're a scientist? And he's like, I'm just thinking out loud. And then like 5 minutes later, she's like, okay, there's obviously a vampire on the loose here. And like the entire town is fucking aware of it.
Yeah. And they're all just like,
walk around with crosses.
Okay. Well, so part of what will become part of later lore, because this show ends, but there are things that continue on. There's novels, like shitloads of novels. There's like 65 or 70 audio dramas.
Oh, wow.
That are pretty reasonably well produced. You know, they have the original cast to a certain extent. And I liked them. So it will carry on, and eventually it will become canon that the town kind of knows that something is going on here that is not normal, and they're all just pretending it's fine.
Oh, shit. I kind of love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, everybody is planning to somehow blame this bite attack on David.
Well, he is a rapscallion.
Because apparently, like, they also get the same vibe as us, where we're like, this fucking kid.
If not now, eventually and soon.
He's out there just right now. He's experimenting a little bit, setting a fire here, torturing a cat there.
2 weeks though, he's going to think Nazis are trying to steal his blood.
So now out at a local bar, some dude, I don't know. I'm sorry. I've completely lost track of all these people.
This is Todd. And Todd is not from the show. However, Todd is played by Don Briscoe, who is Chris Jennings on the show. He's the one who had the nervous breakdown.
Oh, no shit.
So he is yet another gay man.
This actor is the guy.
Yes.
God damn.
And I don't know who this character is and why they really, inserted him into the story.
Okay. But he overhears another one of the sheriff's deputies talking about another woman that was attacked the same way as Daphne, except that this one is dead. And this was another reference to another scene that ended up cut where the woman was killed by Barnabas following a scene where she went to Jeff's place to buy a painting or something. If you ask me, this scene could have used it.
Oh, okay. So Jeff in the movie is like an art dealer.
Okay.
And part of the reason why, and this I don't think is actually explained in the movie or the show. I don't even know why I know this.
Very little is explained. I think a big nitpick I have with this is this movie assumes that you know a thing or two about this.
Okay, but let's be honest here.
It spares you it gives you no exposition.
Oh yeah, no, there's no time for that. But when Jeff disappears, it is because I think Barnabas has set up some sort of like ruse. It's a cunning attempt to trick him, in which he sends him to Boston to buy art. And that is why Jeff is not there.
Because Jeff vanishes and then he appears again like 20 minutes from the ending as the fucking dashing hero of the story.
I feel like I'm doing a lot of work to explain this movie.
Now, I guess, so he's talking to, I guess this is Carolyn Stoddard, who is the daughter of Elizabeth, the Collins family matriarch.
Yes, and Carolyn is like the bad girl, kind of swinging sex kitten.
I like
girl.
her. I like her. She's
Yeah,
fun.
she's all right. She's one of the few that is in both movies, because there is a sequel to the movie.
Yeah, right. Is the sequel any good?
It's a very different plot that does not come from the show.
Oh, so it's like fully original.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think the only ones who are in that are in both are John Carlin, Carolyn, Grayson Hall, and that's it.
Okay.
And then it's Kate Jackson and David Selby who plays Quentin.
Oh, damn. So she spots Willie Loomis hanging around the bar, who's being all sweaty and weird. And she remarks how different he's being. Less sleazy and psychotic, I guess.
Yeah, because his whole thing is that he is now...
He's Barnabas's like ghoul, his thrall.
He is his thrall, and so he goes from being this very kind of threatening ne'er-do-well to being a very skittish creature. Like he's very like, oh, Barnabas, I don't think we should do that, Barnabas. It's great. He's a fantastic character. And he will become sort of heroic in the series as well.
Okay, that's cool.
But he has a... he's lusting after Maggie. So the way they frame it in the show is that the real reason that he sexually assaulted Maggie is because he really likes her. You know how it goes. Yeah,
man, this is so 60s.
Yeah.
Like this is just how a guy tells you he likes you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
ladies, accept it.
So when Barnabas decides that he is, that she is like the reincarnation of Josette or whatever, originally he thinks it's Vicky, but we have no Vicky here. So,
right.
And so he decides he has to try to save her.
Yeah. Okay.
So they will come into conflict quite often. They really condense it in this though.
Right.
Because Barnabas is way more villainous in the movie than he is in the show.
Okay. So as they leave, we zoom in on his companion, shown only from behind, bearing the ring of the stranger who's been stalking Collinwood lately.
And this is where the Todd character is like, hey, who is that with him? And my note is, Todd, that's what's called a client or a John. Get with the times, man.
So that night, the stranger approaches the manor, rings the bell to be let in. He announces himself as Barnabas Collins, a cousin from England.
He is Barnabas. He's a cousin from the England branch of the family. They will run this into the ground in the show.
This
from
family,
the England
I don't know,
branch.
maybe it was a thing from like people from the sort of leftover like remnants of the Gilded Age who were just like obsessed with their lineage.
There is something about it that feels a little Daughters of the Confederacy, if you know what I mean. Like it's a little bit like white supremacist. That's not why they're doing it in the show. They're just trying to explain how he exists. Because actually, genealogy and public history had not really caught on yet. It was a thing. It was a thing that people did, but it was not a thing that the public did.
Like, I gotta wonder, because I have no fucking experience with this, but it does sort of seem like the way that you would sort of prove your bona fides to other rich people is to sort of like be able to sort of conclusively tie your family name back to some other kind of like royal English royalty or some shit. Like the way that people in like you would every now and then, like in the old society pages, they would talk about like the Pennsylvania Biddles,
right.
Like the families that weren't really famous for anything other than just being rich that you probably had heard about. And
yes, you would claim that, but the actual, like the genealogical part, like, the Mayflower Society and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
That, I don't know if maybe the Mayflower Society did exist at the time, but actual public history and genealogy doesn't really catch on until after the bicentennial. So we're about 5 years.
Really?
So
out. Like after 1976, people start weird.
Because it was something that they did. It came out of like Europe. Like it was a big thing in Dutch cultures that they would do.
Weird. All right.
And then it catches on here around that because people get very kind of jazzed up about being American and proving you're American. But before that, you could lie. And shitloads of people did all the fucking time. And usually what happened when they were found out is they were either ostracized, arrested, or they would just kill somebody. Like, there's so many cases of people just being like, yeah, it turns out I'm not a Rockefeller. I stole a bunch of money. And if you say anything, I will murder you and the rest of the family. Bye.
So yeah, he claims to be a cousin from England, and he bears a strong likeness to the original Barnabas Collins, who lived in the 1700s and is captured in portrait right here in Collinwood.
I would give anything for that original portrait. It's probably gone.
The thing is it probably was destroyed.
So there are a lot of props that did survive. A couple of years ago, I looked, and online you could buy, when Barnabas turns into a bat. Do you want it? Bat? So when he does that, the bat is ridiculous. It is basically a big ball of felt with wings that it may as well be hanging on a fishing line.
Oh, give it to me. I love this. I love this crappy bullshit.
And I found it someone was selling it on eBay for like $1,100, like with the certificate of authenticity. And I was like, oh, now this was before I was in a different job at the time. I was a social worker at the time and did not have any money. But if I did,
under different circumstances,
I would own the Barnabas bat.
I wonder if it's worth taking a look at like heritage auctions to see if there's any like Dark Shadow stuff. But the thing is, it continues to sort of bug me because like I've seen, like I remember like years ago, Dad took me to the Universal backlot, like the real one, not the the one that you got a tour of, and like one of the things that we drove past was the boneyard, which is where all the cars and like basically vehicles from movies go. And like there were like the Back to the Future DeLorean was there, but it was like fucking trashed.
And there's like Bullet just sitting out in the sun.
Yeah, like it had been like scavenged for like bits and pieces for like other movies and stuff. And the fact that like none of these studios had the fucking foresight to just like keep this shit. Like that's even after the great success of a movie like Back to the Future.
I mean, one of the things we went to while we were in you didn't go, but Michael and I went to the Academy Museum to see the Jaws installation.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because I think they had to, so they have their own archive there of stuff people donate, but I think they had to sort of go out and curate this stuff and really track a lot of it down. And they managed to find a lot of stuff. And it's like, it's amazing what you can find if you actually look for it.
Yeah.
Like, I think there were a lot of people that kept it, but it's probably just sitting in people's houses. Like I told you the story about the devil car from Twilight Zone, the devil.
Yeah, right.
My friend Karen had just like, she was like at a friend's house one day and they were in the basement. And he was like, oh yeah, that was in that show Twilight Zone. You ever heard of it? And she was like, not really. And he just had it in his basement.
Oh my God, I would have fucking robbed his house.
Yep.
But yeah, like Forrest Ackerman was like, I mean, apart from like, being a founder of like famous monsters of filmland and like, just being a sort of like a big deal in science fiction.
Being a gadfly, if you will.
His house was the Acker Mansion, which was a fucking museum of all of this like sci-fi props and memorabilia.
That's the one Rob Zombie owned.
What's that?
Didn't Rob Zombie buy it eventually?
I don't know. I think some of after he died, unfortunately, after he died, like most of his collection, like landed on eBay in order to basically pay for his fucking hospice and medical bills and stuff like that. And most of his shit ended up kind of scattered to the winds. It was very sad because he had some really, really fucking important stuff. He had Lon Chaney Sr.'s makeup kit.
Jesus.
And I think Kirk Hammett bought a bunch of it. And it ended up in that kind of road show that he had traveling for a little while.
Shall we call our friend Kirk?
I would love it if you'd call your friend Kirk so that we could see his collection. But yeah, but most of it just ended up in like private collections.
I think Rob Zombie owns a lot of it because remember he had that house that had like weird hidden passageways and shit in it.
No, this is awesome though.
I don't know if he lives there anymore, but yeah, he at one point there's an episode of Cribs. Where it's Johnny Ramone is there doing it, like doing the tour with him. It's very strange. And like he has like a hidden passageway. His house fucking rules. Look, the man can't make a movie to save his life. He just seems so great.
I think he lives on a farm in Connecticut now.
He owns a farm in Connecticut. I think they live there part-time.
All right. Anyway, Dark Shadows, right?
Sorry, I got sidetracked by Robert Zombie. Also, when they introduce Barnabas, it's like all these really weird canted angles.
It's that, and they do a lot. Almost all of his stuff, up until the point where they finally fucking reveal him, it's all POV.
And it's strange because it's like, we don't know who he is until they introduce him. So it's not like we're going to be like, oh my God, it's the killer. We didn't see him.
Everybody
on the
fucking
show.
knows who this guy is.
On the show, you would have known who he was when he shows up because you would have already seen him. You wouldn't have, I don't remember if you actually see him attack her, but it's pretty heavily implied that he is the one who attacks her. Yeah. So when he shows up at the house, you're like, oh, gasp, it's the Barnabas from the England branch of the family. But when they introduce him in the movie, it's like, we've not seen him yet. It doesn't fucking matter if you have a big reveal.
Yeah. So Barnabas arrives with a gift, the family jewels, which Willie was searching for. And the jewels were thought lost, and there's a legend about them being buried during the Revolutionary War or some shit. Barnabas throws a wet blanket on the whole speculation.
Now, it turns out that Dr. Julia Hoffman is there. She's doing a little family history on the Collins family. And now, just so we're clear, Dr. Hoffman, who is a medical expert, a medical doctor, is taking a sabbatical to write a history of one of the last families in the main aristocracy. Why not? Why not?
Look, you gotta have side projects.
That's
you gotta
right.
have passions.
Mm-hmm. So she's just taking a few days off to, I don't know.
Carolyn busts in on the old manor looking for Barnabas, but finds Willie instead. He is quick to pull her away from the basement, where it is revealed that Barnabas has moved his coffin.
Oh, is this all? Wait, we also get introduced to Professor Stokes here.
Yeah, but he doesn't really make an impression in that scene. Because again, it's the scene where Barnabas shows up it's the whole, like, basically it's the entire fucking Collins family, Stokes and Hoffman. And it's just this room of like dour rich people.
And everyone's just standing in tableau very sadly.
Yes. And again, I'm
just waiting for someone to show up.
I'm looking at this scene and I'm like, I don't know who any of these fucking people are.
Yeah, so Professor Stokes is, I can't remember his name, another gay man. He, in my favorite story arc, plays a character named Count Potofi, and they need to get Count Potofi's severed hand, which is now a gypsy artifact that is used in magic. They need to get that in order to turn Quentin back from a werewolf into a person. Count Potofi looks a little bit like Dr. Steve Brule. If Dr. Steve Brule were some kind of sorcerer. It's fantastic.
For your hell.
Yes. I made a beer called the Hand of Potofi many years ago. So good.
With a picture of Dr. Steve Brule on the label.
I'm Dr. Steve Brule.
Willie has been hard at work on restoring the old place. He and Caroline spent some time flirting, kind of, and then she returns to her room to make ready for the ball, but finds Barnabas waiting for her there in the shadows. He uses his crazy vampire power of domination to stop her in her tracks and attacks with his big-ass vampire teeth.
I also want to take one step back just to note that Julia's outfit when Barnabas shows up at the house is amazing. She looks like she works at a grocery store checkout. She has on like a weird orangey red smock, or like maybe she's like a Girl Scout troop leader or something. Very odd.
Oh shit, we love a smock, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when Carolyn shows up at the house, Willie's like holding a bucket of paint or something. Yeah. And Barnabas is like, Willie, why don't you go home? And he's just like standing there with his bucket of paint. It's like, well, you're just gonna like take the paint and go.
Right. At the ball, all the rich people are dressed in their opulent finery. All the dudes are dressed in velvet coats with ruffled collars like they're members of some Baroque psychedelic band called the Chocolate Kaleidoscope or some shit.
Nice. Well done. Yeah. So the reason for the ball in this series is that he is using it as an excuse to get Vicky to wear Josette's dress. Because he wants to like hypnotize her into being Josette.
Oh, I thought he just had like a weird kink.
No, but in the moment, I thought he was going to be like, "Now, Willie, if she won't wear the dress, you will."
And then he does the Dracula eyes.
Yes, and he also tells her that the family place was destroyed during the war. My note is, which war? He says it like there's only one.
I know. You know what that would have been is the War of 1812.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
My favorite.
Caroline is there like nothing ever happened, but she's conspicuously wearing a big pink ribbon around her neck.
Also, from here on out, Carolyn ostensibly Barnabas's second cousin or whatever, desperately wants to fuck Barnabas.
So on his shit.
Desperately.
It's aristocracy.
Why does this keep happening?
I don't know. We
just watched a movie in which there are cousins fucking.
You remember when we first started this podcast? It seemed like
for some reason there was a lot of incest.
The first 5 movies we did had like a prominent incest storyline.
Yeah, it was very odd.
It's
and
coming
here we
back.
are again.
Goddamn, man. And it's not like Barnabas is a snack exactly, you know?
Hey, you do your best. You work with what you got. He did that weird thing with the bangs.
Yep.
It kind of worked. It gave him a personality. Yeah, it's like a guy who shows up at frat parties wearing a blazer, you know? That's his blazer.
So the music in this scene is a track from the TV series called Quentin's Theme. Shit was so popular that the single charted and peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Top 40.
You already said that.
Well, did I? Because of the soundtrack. The soundtrack.
I think you mentioned that it was included on it.
But Quentin's theme itself was
because I said Quentin's theme is in the movie.
Yeah,
and it is not. He is, however, is not in the movie. Yeah. Quentin, for context, he will sit and brood and listen to this one fucking record over and over again on every episode. Quentin's great, by the way. He is one of the best characters in the show. It's a shame he's not in the movie.
Yeah.
Is
he on the show at this time?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's because the plot on the show it revolves very heavily around him.
Okay.
He is the one that they're trying to transform back into a person with the hand of Count Patofi.
So Barnabas' attention is suddenly grabbed by the sight of Maggie. Carolyn is incensed by this sudden infatuation.
Yeah.
Barnabas goes over to introduce himself. Her dress belonged to his Josette Dupre.
I literally have a note that says, why is this happening a second time in a row?
I know. Who was meant to marry his ancestor.
Mm-hmm. From the England branch of the family.
A little later on, he gets Maggie all to himself. They chat, and she implies that she's planning on leaving Collinwood, but he gives her a look that's supposed to be suave, I suppose, and insists that she stick around.
So the problem with Barnabas Collins, why the idea of like win a date with Barnabas feels really farcical is like Jonathan Frid, God bless him, was not a great actor. He was extremely queenie.
Really?
He comes across as very gay a lot of the time. Like he's very like, even on the show, he's like super refined and very fancy. And it's
but he's no. You're mistaking gayness for Englishness.
So hey, happens all the time. My friend Lori and I used to play a game called Foreign or Gay.
In walks Carolyn to break up the tension, and she's being a real bee.
Mm-hmm.
But Maggie tells her that she's sticking around, which turns the tables on Maggie. So later, Barnabas explains to Willie how this all came to pass. He and Josette were going to be married, and he'd been cursed with vampirism. Don't worry about it. And tried to make it work with her.
Because if you try to get into that lore in the movie, you need 7 other movies. Because you're going to get into some Angelique, and that story, that plot will literally drag on from the moment they introduce him until pretty much the end of the show.
Oh my God. So he offers the curse to her as well, but she freaked out and ran to Widow's Hill, where she threw herself off and died on the rocks below. Mm-hmm. And then her father found Barnabas and chained him in the coffin for 175 years.
Yes. His father. That's who does it.
Okay. And then Barnabas insists that Maggie is the reincarnation of Josette, but Willie tries to talk him out of this notion, and matters are made worse. Caroline bursts into the room, demanding that he love her instead.
Which, this is how it works.
Yeah, ladies just be throwing themselves at Barnabas Collins.
Mm-hmm.
So Barnabas is pissed at this intrusion and attacks Carolyn, biting her on the neck, while Willie has this weird little tantrum, begging him to stop.
So that will be Willie's role for pretty much this entire plot line of the show, where he'll be like, oh, come on, Barnabas, don't you want to do something else? Maybe we can go play racquetball or something. Don't kill Carolyn.
So when he gets control of himself, he has Willie take her out of the room and back to the manor, where she stumbles in by herself, neck bleeding like crazy.
Yeah, he just fucking savagely murdered Carolyn.
Yeah. I was a little surprised.
Like,
I kind of
shockingly.
thought, I was like, oh, one of the Collinses got fucking killed.
By the end of this movie, everybody will
All
be
of them
dead.
get killed.
Yeah, no, it's wild because, as Barnabas, it comes across as villainous, as villainous as I guess you could be on television, daytime television in 1968.
Yeah.
Like, he's very gentle and non-threatening across the board. Here, however, he is not. He is kind of a menacing character when he becomes enraged.
Yeah. I mean, well, they're aping Dracula really hard. So it's a lot of the, it's when Dracula sort of insinuates himself into the lives of the Sewards and Jonathan Harker, and so he's this like very debonair dude that everybody likes. But then when you make him mad,
he knocks the mirror out of fucking what's his face's hand,
out of Van Helsing's hand, and makes him real. He turns him into a fucking animal, basically.
Now,
by the end, he's a fucking fiend.
It must have been kind of shocking though for fans of the show, which is very much a gothic romance, to have seen this where he not only is a villain, but he attacks her violently and kills her.
It's a little intense, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also, it probably was really fun for Jonathan Frid, who always had to be this kind of buttoned up, like any violence is implied on the show. That's all.
Okay.
No matter how often, Victoria Winter says, a great violence has come to the house at Collinsport.
So in the morning, the maid finds Carolyn slumped by the door, dead.
Yep.
And they have a funeral for her in the pouring rain and place her body in the family crypt.
The priest at the funeral is played by Jerry Lacey. Jerry Lacey plays Reverend Trask on the show, among a few other characters, but he's mostly Reverend Trask.
All right.
And also one of the pallbearers at the funeral is Michael Stroka, who plays a character named Aristide. And Aristide is like Count Potoffi's right-hand man. So even though because at this time they're carrying water for everybody who's not on the show. But even though they're doing all that work, they're still like, hey man, can't we be in the fucking movie? And he's like, fine, you're a pallbearer, you're the priest. Let's fucking go. We don't have a lot of time.
Dr. Hoffman, meanwhile, analyzes a sample of Carolyn's blood. She notices a cell in the blood.
Just doing a little undercover doctoring.
Yeah. That she concludes entered the victim's blood from an external source.
But also, she couldn't be bothered to go to the funeral.
She was very, very busy. Had a lot of writing to do on the history of the Collins family.
And this is when she's just like, there are many well-documented cases of vampires. And I was like, give me one.
Yeah. In walks Professor Stokes with some crazy shit to lay on a scientist. Say, doctor, what would you say if I told you that I thought a vampire did all this nasty bullshit? There's no animal in the locale that drinks blood or strangles its victims, and he does.
I don't think there's any animal at all that drinks blood. I do like, he walks in and he's just like, what if I told you vampires? And she's like, mm-mm. He's like, what if I also said vampires? And she's like, well, actually. It is a remarkable turnaround that she's just like, well, okay.
This is the economy of storytelling, and this is crazy.
I wish the rest of the world was this persuadable. Maybe you'll give me this sandwich for free. No, I won't. Are you sure?
Yeah. Hoffman thinks that the existence of the mystery cell might mean that the condition is curable. Out in the old pool house, which is also crumbling and trashed, David plays by himself and ends up falling on the debris and is knocked out. Once again, everybody is looking for David.
Yep. And my note is, good news, David, it's Carolyn. She's alive.
He wakes up in the night and is drawn into the darkness by the voice of Carolyn, who beckons to him. Carolyn emerges from a thick cloud of fog like a phantom and advances on David, who runs in terror. Won't lie, love this shot. Yeah. And I love the way that they use like fucking Carnival House fog. So rad.
I would guess that they probably shot this on a very, very tight timeline for a lot of reasons.
Well,
they
sure,
didn't have
because
much money.
they were using the cast as the cast was also producing the Dark Shadows show.
And they were probably using a lot of the costumes at the same time. And so, because those characters weren't on the show at the time. And so, I'm guessing they were moving really fast. And given that, I think it's pretty impressive what the DP pulls off. like they didn't do a lot of retakes on this shit.
Oh, for sure. Like this production was probably at a fucking breakneck pace. Also, the budget was like less than $1 million.
But he'll do some of those like vertigo reverse zoom shots and shit. Like
at the very end, I'll sort of flag it when we get there. But the shot of Willie and Maggie like descending the steps down to the chapel, spooky as fuck.
Yeah, the chapel stuff is really cool.
Yeah. So Carolyn, yep. So he comes running into Collinwood as the Collins family silently gathers for dinner.
And I would like to point out, Dr. Julia Hoffman, too good to go to the funeral, not too good to show up for dinner.
Don't miss a meal, man. Mm-mm. Professor Stokes is there also for some reason, and is the only one who wants to hear about what David saw. Everybody else is too.
For some reason, Stokes is like he's like integrated into the family in a way that's like, why is this guy just at dinner? Like, how ever on the X-Files episodes where we're just like, why did nobody ever notice that, like, the smoking man and a bunch of other dudes are just, like, lining the walls of this office room? It's that. It's just like, why is nobody being like, hey, why is that guy here?
I know.
Why is the family occultist here?
Fucking Christ. Yeah, everybody else is too busy giving him shit for pulling more of his bullshit at a time like this. Roger sends David to bed and then gives Stokes some shit for encouraging David's fantasies. Dr. Hoffman, as we said, also there for some reason, and insists that they all listen to Stokes and take him seriously.
Well, that's my notice. Elizabeth, you must listen to what Elliot has to say. I was a skeptic, but then he said it a second time, and I was convinced.
He can prove that the kid really saw Carolyn if they go to the crypt and open her coffin. A totally reasonable thing to recommend to a family in mourning. And not just that they think that she's a vampire.
Now, if she's not a vampire, why do all these people keep getting turned into vampires around here, huh?
Oh, boy. If not vampire, why vampire shaped?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So Todd, Carolyn's fiance, isn't entirely dissuaded, so he goes down to the crypt to have a look and encounters Carolyn's living corpse in the gloom. She advances on him and bites him right on the neck. Now, in the morning, Hoffman and Todd in the clinic are having found him wandering around the property in a daze.
Yeah, they probably had to write him out because he was losing his fucking mind.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Over in the Barnabas's wing, there's a new coffin in the basement with him, and it opens and Carolyn rises. Barnabas forbids her from seeing Todd again and tells her not to touch anyone in Collinwood, but she's like, F that noise, boss.
Yeah, Barnabas fucking hates Carolyn. He's like, this is the worst idea I ever had. I should have controlled myself.
It's a fucking hassle for him. And he's like, what the fuck was I thinking? So Barnabas gets his ghoul Willie to make sure that she doesn't leave. That'll probably work. So now Barnabas arrives at the main house to question Hoffman's decision to keep Todd in the house, and Hoffman just up and tells him that they think that Carolyn will try and see him again, and that they have proof that she's among the living dead.
And she is giving him the hardest side eye the whole time, where she's just like, I am suspicious of you,
so
sir.
hard that it gave her a fucking migraine. Mm-hmm. So Hoffman then goes to check her makeup in a mirror and realizes quietly that Barnabas casts no reflection.
And this is essentially ripped directly from Dracula.
Yeah, so this is Dracula. Maggie is Lucy
Weston?
Lucy Weston, at this point. And so, Barnabas, when Barnabas returns to his crypt, he is looking for Caroline, but only finds Willie half dead in her coffin. And he has a big old bite taken out of his neck.
Oh, Barnabas, why'd you let her bite me like that? Oh, jeez.
The Stokes prepares for Carolyn with the cops, who are all outfitted with fucking gigantic crosses to repel her if she shows up.
Again, he's just like, also you guys should know she's a vampire. And they're like, well, I guess we have to get a bunch of crosses then.
Right. And later on, they're going to all, the posse is going to arm up out of a, bucket full of silver bullets. It's like, oh, you just got those laying around, huh?
At a certain point, they did sort of have to be like, why does all of these strange happenings keep occurring here at Collinwood? And so, the cops would just roll up and they would never seem to be like, we need what now? They'd be like, okay.
All right, so I'm going to give you this wolf's bane. And they're like, okay, and?
They were like, don't worry, we brought our own. This is not our first rodeo, Carolyn.
Speaking of the cops, a pair of them drive the lonely roads of the manor and nearly crash into Carolyn, who appears to them in the street as a phantom in white.
It reminds me of the scene at the end of The Haunting when she almost hits She like tries to run down.
When she drives away and like crashes into the tree.
Yeah, because she sees the doctor's wife.
Yeah.
So like
again,
she very briefly
another
runs.
fucking awesome shot. Basically, all of the stuff with Carolyn before they ultimately destroy her is shot so well, because like most of the scenery in this is very dark. It's muddy. It's all shot at fucking night. But she is because it's Lucy Weston that they're doing. She's all in white, and so she stands off of all of that sort of darkness and really stark contrast. And her makeup also kind of goes a long way to sort of making her seem like a ghost or a phantom. She's
very ethereal looking.
Yeah, it's incredibly cool. Amid the chaos, Todd rises from his bed and knocks out the cop guarding him and sneaks out of the house to find his lady. And it doesn't take long. She appears to him in the same white gown, and he runs into the rundown barn to get closer to her. And she once again appears to him, beckoning him closer. And when he reaches her, she latches onto his neck and gets down to business.
Barnabas is going to be real pissed.
This was a factor he did not plan for. Outside, the cops arrive and enter the barn to look for Todd, and he almost misses her, but Todd's body convulses, knocking some shit over, and the cops come back to find her feeding on him. As she attacks the cops, they turn crosses on her, which repels her, and he calls for help. And more cops with crosses arrive and push her back. And then Todd leaps in to help, but is easily bum-rushed by the cops. And then the cops restrain her while Stokes readies a stake and hammers it home, killing Carolyn once and for all with like an explosion of blood.
And everybody's just like, well, it had to happen that way, I guess.
Nobody was like, so were we supposed to arrest her or something?
No question. Then like in the next scene, they're like, oh, I wonder why Elizabeth is so closed off. And I was like, well, her daughter was murdered and then became a vampire and then was murdered again. So might be that.
Yeah. So now Hoffman arrives to Barnabas's wing and finds Willie there desperately trying to get rid of her.
This is her. She's a master of espionage. She just fucking barges into the house. She's like, hey, I know he's a vampire. I know you're whatever you are. Let's talk about this.
Yeah. Hoffman produces a cross and tells him that she thinks that she can help him. She's been able to destroy the vampire cell in her blood samples and thinks that she can help Barnabas by destroying the vampire cells that are the source of the curse and cure him. Barnabas gets all romantic about the curse, about not seeing the sun, and agrees to work with her. Later on, it's unclear how much time has passed, but it seems like Barnabas and Hoffman have things handled, as Stokes is out there telling people that the vampire situation may have been solved. There have been no attacks or sightings, and the cops have lifted the curfew.
I mean, these are the most amenable people in Maine. Nobody even scoffs at him being like, well, no more vampires. They're like, what? Can you imagine if someone was just like, oh, we solved that vampire problem? You'd be like, you solved the what now?
Yep, you can all leave your houses now.
Mm-hmm.
So now Barnabas, meanwhile, is out there whining and dining Maggie. Remember her? It's been a while.
Well, here's the thing. Barnabas, don't talk about other women when you're on a date. It's tacky.
He plans to reveal a portrait of Josette to her soon so she can see this resemblance. And then he presents a music box to her, and it used to belong to Josette. And she is
gifts are Barnabas's love language.
Fucking delighted.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, Willie is on Barnabas's ass about Maggie, worried that he's going to turn her into a vampire, but it's all good, isn't it? Doesn't seem
he's like he says, don't worry, she won't be seeing Jeff for a couple of days.
Because
during which time she will have forgotten all about him, apparently. Just 2 days. He's gone for 2 days. She's fickle.
Yeah, also doesn't seem like he and Hoffman have this whole vampire situation under control, right? So Willie runs into her in the daylight and tells her that she has to get the fuck out of here. And he tries to warn her without spilling the beans about the whole vampire thing, but it's not really working. It's just scaring her and David. Yeah. So that night at the Collinwood Red Lobster, Barnabas dines with...
Excuse me, that is called the Blue Whale.
Barnabas...
It is the swinginest, happeningest place in Collinsport.
Oh my God. As soon as they walked in, I was like, this is a fucking theme restaurant where they charge you based on how much your children weigh. So
the Collins family fortune comes from, I believe, like frozen fish or tinned fish or something like that.
I'm going to say, because it seems like he's dining with Maggie over a fucking plate of endless popcorn shrimp.
Oh, yeah. No, anything that doesn't take place at the old house or Collinwood. Let's be clear. Collinwood is the house. Collinsport is the town.
Yeah.
Anything that doesn't happen in those two places happens at mostly at the Blue Whale, which is this restaurant that has like you eat it over a barrel or at the bar. They have a jukebox, so there's lots of dance scenes throughout the show. It's fantastic. The swingingest place in Collinsport.
Oh my God. She tells him that Willie came to her to warn her, but Barnabas explains it all away and puts her mind at ease.
And she looks positively riveted. She's like staring off into the middle distance the whole time.
At home, Barnabas busts in and confronts Willie and literally throws him down the stairs. And then he beats the crap out of him with his cane.
Yeah, this is where Willie becomes like, he gives him a taste of the back of his hand, and Willie becomes like a classic 1970s abused housewife.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yes. Because in the next scene there I think it's Stokes. Yeah. So in the morning, Stokes comes to Barnabas's place. We find that Willie is still alive in spite of having the crap kicked out of him. But yeah, he gets him to turn into the light, and his fucking like eye is all blackened and shit.
Yeah. He's like, I walked into a door.
Fell down the stairs, which he kind of did. He tries
and
to
this is when
Willie.
he's like, yeah, are you going to tell me that Barnabas is accustomed to the walking in the light of day? And I was like, that is really highfalutin language, sir.
He, the actor playing Stokes has serious like summer stock Shakespeare vibes. Like his acting is of the cast. Like I feel like the acting in the show, of what I've seen is pretty outrageous. It's a little
hammy.
Ridiculous.
But hammy,
here, everybody's doing a pretty good job. They're all very competent actors, like a couple of exceptions, obviously, but Stokes is playing it like he's the guy on the TV show. He's the only one bringing soap opera energy to the role.
He is giving you Count Potofi realness.
He tries to get Willie to cop to Barnabas being a vampire, but before he can say anything, Barnabas comes out of his room and Stokes formally accuses him. But isn't it weird how Barnabas is up and around in the daylight? I mean, he's not really. He's in his house, but you know what I mean.
He's going to be walking around in the daylight in a minute.
Yes, he will, because Stokes then goes to visit Hoffman and accuses her of working with him on her insane project to cure him. He doesn't fully have the picture, though.
Julia's wig is a mess in the scene.
Is it a wig? Is it a wig?
It's got a real shake and go quality.
Because what is it? She's starting to look a little haggard and shit. Smoking a lot more than she usually does.
Yeah.
He hasn't attacked anybody in a month. That's not bad, right? Stokes calls her on her shit, though. She's in love with him. Everybody is up on Barnabas's shit, but he only has eyes for Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, out in the daylight, Barnabas walks with Maggie, amazed at what's happening to him. He's a new man. He's in the sun. He's in the fucking daylight.
And she's like, you're a very unusual man. And my note is, she means a gentleman of refinement. Okay, she means gay.
Seems like he might be cured, right? Hoffman watches them ominously from the roof of the Collinwood Clinic.
And then while they're canoodling in the sun, and she's like, Barnabas, I love to be with you. And my note again says, you have such great taste in clothing, and you're such a good dancer. And oh no.
Barnabas then goes to visit her and ask her how long she thinks before he'll be fully cured. They're close, but he wants to speed it up. He plans on marrying Maggie, and Hoffman is bummed, to put it mildly.
She is. This once stable historian doctor has been driven to madness and murder because she cannot have the man she wants.
Ain't that a lady, though?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's if they're not shopping, they're doing this, whatever this is.
Oh boy, ladies be longing.
Mm-hmm. Just staring down the hallways.
So she's haunted by Stokes' word from earlier and her disappointment that you can't cure a vampire. They're dead, the living dead, you see, as she doubles up the dose of her treatment. And when she's done and Barnabas is gone, she packs her bag in a hurry to get the fuck out of there. But he comes busting
If I can't have you, no one will.
Right. Realizing that she fucked him over. Before he can do much more, though, the treatments have aged him rapidly. Does this happen on the TV show?
No. I don't think so.
Because now he looks like, because he like immediately, he walks in and he looks pretty normal. And then he turns very suddenly, and all of a sudden he looks like Grandpa Sawyer from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes. So this was the makeup they used for Dustin Hoffman in Little Bighorn. Little Big Man.
Little Big Man. Yeah, which Dick Smith worked on that one also.
Yeah.
So Maggie comes busting in on the scene to see him angrily strangling Hoffman, and then he attacks her, biting her on the neck. Elizabeth then stumbles in on the scene, and then Roger, but he's too late. Mutant Barnabas is gone.
Everybody's just fucking killing everybody at this point.
Stokes returns to the broke-down wing of Collinwood looking for Barnabas's coffin in the daylight, but he finds nothing. Finding nothing, he goes to the police and tells them everything. He tries to explain Hoffman's system and suggests that attacking Maggie may have rejuvenated him.
Also, the Maggie, when he bites Maggie, it makes this like gross squishy noise.
Yeah.
Whoever did Foley is working overtime on this one.
Yep. Roger explains that they look back on the old family record and finds a weird gap in the record regarding the original Barnabas, and that Maggie also bears a striking resemblance to Josette Dupre. Cops now keep Maggie in a room under watch and surrounded by crosses. It's like with Mina, with the wolfsbane at the end of Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the stupid cop falls asleep on the job, and in walks old man Barnabas, who sneaks up on him and strangles him to death.
And I will say, old man Barnabas is pretty creepy looking.
It's a pretty crazy look.
Like, it's not, old age makeup never looks very good under any circumstance, but in this context, it really works because he's very uncanny.
Maggie wakes slowly and finds Barnabas about to strike. She beckons him to her, and he drinks her blood, and after some distress and a shimmery video effect, he is returned to regular old Barnabas Collins, much to his own amazement. And then he takes off with Maggie. And they are flying down the highway in terms of story right now. Like, the old man Barnabas thing lasts about 3 minutes.
Maybe it does. I think it actually does happen in the show very briefly.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense because the old man Barnabas scene is literally just a couple of minutes long. Like, he's ugly old man guy now, and then all of a sudden he's just like cured in the next scene. Mm-hmm. The cops then descend on Collinwood, armed with silver bullets. Jeff is awoken by some crusty old dude with a message from Roger that they think they have Barnabas cornered.
Jeff.
So he gets in a rowboat.
I can't remember who that character. He plays another character on Dark Shadows. He's not Jeff.
Okay, because Jeff shows back up, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy now?"
Well, he's buying art. He's been gone to buy art
in Boston. So he gets in a rowboat and he rows out to the spot, finding Stokes in the fog. And I'll tell you what, don't trust him.
No.
No. Stokes tells him that his hunch about where Barnabas was wrong and that Roger went back to the mainland. See, it's all a little suspicious. Steers him back to his boat, but something's not right. And as soon as Jeff's back is turned, we cut to Stokes in close-up, and he has fangs. And he fights with Jeff, trying to bite him. Jeff gets his gun out, shoots the vampire Stokes dead. It's probably safe to assume that Roger is dead too.
Stokes' death is classically Hollywood. It's like, he's like, like he may as well have like grabbed his stomach.
You got me. Covered in blood, Jeff stumbles back to the jacked up Collinwood wing where he indeed finds Roger Collins dead. Big old bite taken out of his neck. And he stumbles around trying to find a suitable stake, finds him some old spearhead. But before he can do the deed, Roger wakes up and attacks. And then Jeff stabs him, killing poor Roger Collins. Then finds a dusty old crossbow just laying around and some ammo and searches the rest of the manor.
That's some Resident Evil shit.
Yeah. I'm like, geez, good thing this was laying around.
He also found a delicious peach.
And an herb that he can eat. In Maggie's room, we find Willie having just a real crisis. He tries to help her out, but she's catatonic. Jeff walks in, tries to get Willie to give up the goods, but he becomes sidetracked by trying to get Maggie to go with him and leave. And she ignores him, and Willie hits him over the head with a brick. And so now with Jeff out of action, she wordlessly rises, and Willie escorts her to the chapel where Barnabas is waiting in a sweet Gothic chapel surrounded by haunted house fog. Again, this is probably my favorite scene in the entire movie is the two of them going down. Because again, it's that like dark kind of muddy foreground. And then down at the bottom of the steps, like it's like a haunted house fog up to your fucking knees. And it's all very, very lit brightly. It's just so cool.
But I also have a note that says, all right, Dark Shadows, it's time to land the plane.
Well, don't worry. We're getting there. Barnabas receives her and addresses her as Josette. Now Jeff comes to, makes his way down to the chapel all sneaky like. Barnabas has Maggie laid out on the altar, getting ready to make her a vampire. But before he can, he shoots a bolt from his crossbow. Seeing what's about to happen, Willie runs in and takes it in the back for Barnabas.
Weird. This is also where Barnabas does his con. He just yells out Jeff's name.
Yeah, it's from the, what is it? Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats use it in the I'll Cut You Down video.
Yep.
So Barnabas pulls the bolt out of Willie and uses his crazy vampire domination to command Jeff to approach him. He reloads and heads down. He's about to attack, but Barnabas gives him the Dracula eyes and he drops his weapon and approaches Barnabas, apparently in a trance. Barnabas tells him that he will be the witness to this wedding, but when he goes to bite her, he convulses in pain suddenly. And Willie stabs him with the bolt, and Jeff comes to, finishing the job. It is gnarly and gory.
It is the darkest of dark shadows.
And it's super, like, it's crazy bloody. Also, awesome effect, because he's, like, run through with, like, this big fucking, like, arrow. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a very, like, it has, like, a kind of early Argento vibes.
Yeah, man, when they use blood in this, man, they don't spare.
Mm-hmm.
It's rated GP.
That's right.
So
General practitioner.
With Barnabas Collins dead, Jeff rescues Maggie from the altar and they leave. Roll credits.
Woo!
Dark Shadows, House of Dark Shadows.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I liked this or not. I like it in theory, and it makes me very interested to watch the show. Mm-hmm. But the movie throws so much at you so quickly. I don't usually say this. This movie could have stood to be a little bit longer, so they could have just like paced it out a little bit better.
Okay. I'm going to tell you this right now. This movie's terrible. And does it hold up? Not even a little. It is incredibly dated. If you are not familiar with the show, you have no idea what's going on. It is, even if you are familiar with the show, you still probably don't know what's going on.
I'm glad it's not just me, because like the vibe is very much like Dracula 1972, where it's like, I fucking love it. But the fact that it is so firmly placed in 1972 dates it so fucking hard. And I mean, that's part of 1972's charm, but the fact that this movie also has
my favorite.
So much else that's wrong with it. It doesn't work.
No, this movie's awful. I fucking love it though.
There were parts of it that I really liked. It's very interesting to look at. It's really, really gory for a movie that was really meant for like, you know, a teenage audience. Mm-hmm. And like you mentioned up top, unfortunately led to the show's fucking downfall. Yep. But I'm glad that we watched it. I find Dark Shadows extremely interesting.
Watch the show. If you the movie only makes sense if you have watched the show, and it's only worth watching if you like the show. If you don't, then you have no idea what's going on and you don't fucking care. It looks like a really cheesy Dracula ripoff because it is. But if you like the show is really fun, and it's just something to have on in the background. As someone who doesn't sleep much, I would just watch this for hours in the middle of the night.
Where can you watch it?
I think it might be on Hulu. Right. I think it's on Tubi for sure.
Oh,
or
sweet.
It was
like
for a very
long
time. Yeah.
You
cannot watch the first season.
Okay, because I think when Netflix had it, they only had like half of it. And it was like a sort of core of like the I don't know, like the greatest hits, I think.
Yeah, it probably was a licensing issue where they had like the collections rather than the whole series. But if you go to Tubi, you can watch the whole thing, except you cannot watch the first season, I don't think. I think it picks up right where Barnabas shows up.
Okay. But
which is fine. Yeah. You don't need the other part of it.
There we go. Well, Dark Shadows. I'm glad we did it because again, Dark Shadows crazy interesting to me, and this was a great excuse to just dive into it. Thank God you know.
And my accent work.
So with that done, where are we going next?
Well, next week, 99-cent rental returns with the amazing made-for-TV scare film Mazes and Monsters, where you will see Tom Hanks, a young Tom Hanks, lose his mind because he played Dungeons and Dragons.
So all you kids out there right now with your Dungeons and your Dragons, you know, and your character classes and your fucking spell books and shit, listen, you're playing with fire.
This is a warning to you.
Listen, this is our message to you. You're playing with fire.
Mm-hmm. And then in 2 weeks, we've got Bring Me the Axe. We're coming back with the bizarre early 80s horror gem Mortuary. It's confusing. It's vaguely sexy in a way you're not going to like. And you get some Bill Paxton in a very, very unnerving makeup.
Bill Paxton's performance in that movie, like, what was it that we did? Oh, when all the way back in the beginning, when we did Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, and he appears in that, and all of the notes about him was he was so motivated and such a go-getter. Like, this movie came out right around the same time. I think it might have been either before or right after Butcher Baker, but you can see that. You can see that motivation fully on display because he is going for it in that movie.
Yeah. Listen, is Bill Paxton a horror icon? Unquestionably.
Fucking awesome. So yeah, we'll see you next week with Mazes and Monsters. I'm warning you, you're playing with fire. And then we'll be back in 2 with Mortuary.